Good doggy. Good boy.
What's that? God be with you. You must be parched. What say you have a drink with us?
God be with you. Are you a blacksmith?
And you? Gentleman's manservant, I reckon.
You deserve a clobbering for how poor a judge of people you are.
Be my guest. I'm Yira. Hard as nails and happy to flatten you any time of the day. Careful, though. I don't like blades.
Glad to hear that. From one blacksmith to another.
Oh, sorry, brother. I didn't take you for someone who could swing a hammer.
Ah, you're right. I much prefer swinging a sword than forging one. What are you doing here? Where's your anvil?
Our forge has gone undone for. And these folk around me lost all they had, too.
So war, eh? It's a shitty thing.
Aye, well, that's just the way it is. By God's grace, I still have 2 hands, and I can always find work. I could do with a bit of coin right now. Fancy having a wrestle? For money?
All right, let's wrestle. Because I'm quite sure I'm the better fighter.
Great! I wouldn't be so cocky if I was you, though. I know a few tricks. I'll be done with you in no time. And because I'm so confident, I say we spice it up with a few groschen. What do you say?
Definitely. Here you go.
Let's do this.
Ah!
You're holding it like a pig holds a bone!
Ah!
Didn't see that one come. Sakura, you were good. Not even old Larcher's moves were any use. Well, anyway, Henry, here's your coin.
You put up a decent fight, Yira. I'll remember that levering trick. God be with you, noble sir. I'm Henry of Skalitz, and I serve the Lord of Lipa.
Sir Kunesh of Belevitz. Poor as a church mouse, but a free man once again.
A free man again? What happened to you, Kunesh?
Ah, the greatest of misfortunes befell me. Figuring out this war is a job and a half.
Aye. This feuding between the royal brothers is damn muddled, all right.
Precisely. I gambled on Jobst over Sigismund a few years back. Only his Hungarian cavalry soon routed us, and I spent 2 years in captivity.
You were held captive? What was it like?
Hardly wondrous, I'll tell you that. But what irritated me most was being powerless to do anything. It's all those blasted Hungarians' fault. They can shove my silver up their arse and then lick it and kiss it for all I care.
I totally agree. Sigismund is holding his brother Wenceslas, the rightful king, under lock and key in Vienna.
What a bloody awful affair this war is. In my day, men would fight with honor and integrity, not stab each other in the back.
My sentiments exactly, Sir Kunesh.
Why, young man, I see you stand with Wenceslas, eh? I tell you, though, he's the one who dragged our land into this mess.
How so? It was the Hungarians who captured you, wasn't it?
Because I was a fool. But I've realized that the only competent king here is Sigismund.
I disagree with you, sir. Sigismund is a scoundrel who will do our land no good. Again?
That's what often happens in war. Still, for the good of the country, I'll side with Sigismund in the end, especially considering what a drunkard and fornicator that brother of his is.
Wenceslas stands up for his people.
Wenceslas can't even see the tip of his nose, and things are only getting worse.
Sigismund's no king. He's nothing but a murderous thief. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What? You want to fight me? You're not a noble, but what do I care? Making you skip and jump will amuse me, whelp.
By God's will, die!
You win, young man. But things will only get worse. Mark my words. Wenceslas will do nothing but throw the land back into turmoil. Here's a few groschen to show you I'm a man of honor.
Thank you. I'll remember you as a chivalrous knight, Sir Kunesh.
What? If you have anything to offer in return, I have some nice wares to sell here.
I'm happy to stop by. Greetings. Where are you going? Oh, don't worry. I'm no footpad.
And I'm no hawker. But pray tell, what ails you, friend?
Plenty. But nothing you can help me with, I'm sure.
Can you be quite sure of that? I tend to be quite skilled at relieving people of pain and other afflictions, Henry.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's this confounded nature of mine. I loiter around, I listen, and I remember.
Hold on. What's your name and how do you know me? In whose service are you?
Naturally, there is a master I serve, though not in the manner you might think. And as for my name, I am... Balthazar.
You're following me. Are you out to kill me? Who hired you? Speak.
Henry, that's deplorably paranoid of you. Why on earth would I be stalking you? After all, nobody has paid me to do such a thing, and I do not work for free. Whether I am to thrust a dagger in someone's back or slip poison into their wine.
My God. Who are you?
You hold no interest for me. At least, not yet. Well, unless you have toothache, perhaps. And so I ask, does anything ail you?
If you know me so well, then surely you know why I'm here.
Actually, no. In point of fact, because everyone chooses their own path, and I am not a soothsayer, Henry. But perhaps you are referring to the ambush at the pond, or the unfortunate incident that happened to you afterwards.
Huh? What? How the hell do you know all this?
As I say, I wander the world, and I listen to people.
Balthazar? You surely made that name up, didn't you?
That is none of your concern, but were you ever to seek me out, that name would definitely guide you to me.
Who are you really?
I am an itinerant barber surgeon and healer. I relieve people of their pain. Henry, you would not believe what a fellow would do to escape pain in this world, without giving a thought to the next.
Well, show me what you have to offer, surgeon.
Are you sure you want to know?
I mean your wares. What wares can you offer me?
I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
I bought a lovely...
I'd be happy to join you. if I might have the honor of knowing who I'm sitting with.
Two fools who maybe can't see past the tip of their nose.
Oh, I was looking for some merry company, but it's like a mortuary here.
Aye, well, we're not going to find Baldic today anyway. He could be miles away by now.
Well, if Baldic's a puppy, he should be able to pick up his own scent and return, shouldn't he?
He ain't no puppy. God, I've grown so fond of the little fella's adorable waddle.
What in God's name? You've lost an infant?
Are you barking mad? Jesus. It's not a child that's gone missing. But our chief, Mikolash, will still beat the shit out of us for losing his precious pet.
So, friends, precisely what have you lost, and where did it waddle off to?
It was a bear. Well, a bear cub. Damn it all. He was so sweet. Only 2 years old. You can still tame them at that age. We're done for when Master Mikolash finds out.
What's that you say? A bear cub? Who on earth are you two?
Skilled trappers. We hunt game for our esteemed masters. And Baldic's mother was one hell of a ferocious beast.
And what does your Mikolash have to do with all this?
It was him what killed the mother bear. A finer beast there never was. But she had this cub with her, so he got it into his head we should go and bring it to him. And now the cub's lost, and we've had it.
I'll have to be off now. Good luck finding Baldic.
Thanks. If you do happen to bump into him, let us know. Just please don't kill him.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
doggy.
Hail, good man.
Good day to you.
Hail, good man. Want to warm up a little?
Greetings, sweet maiden. How are you faring, girl?
Well, you know how it is. We minstrels are always on the move. Times are lean and folk need a laugh.
You're not wrong. The poorer people get, the more they drink and sin, and laugh while they're at it.
The poor man sins, the noble sins twice, but the monk and priest are the masters of vice.
What's your name, minstrel girl?
They call me Dancer, but I go by many other names.
And can I hear them?
If you come by after a show, maybe I'll let you give me one yourself, handsome. But now, alas, there's no time to perform. We have to leave here in all haste.
Why the rush?
Our tricks and jests rub some respectable old farts up the wrong way at the town hall. Our tomcat entertained the bailiff's wife, in the hay, and he caught them in the act.
I bet he didn't find it funny, did he? And they say there's no place for sin anymore.
Indeed. The bailiff don't take to his pizzle being yanked.
Should we play dice?
I'm game, if you're not afraid to lose to a girl.
Losing to you would not dismay me in the slightest.
What game would you like to play?
Wagoners!
Let's play.
Welcome, my friend. Would you like to see my wares? I might have something to your liking.
You look well-travelled. I'm sure you can tell me what's new in the world.
Why, yes, good man. There's plenty going on. You know, I just heard there was a frog pox in Hamburg where the Elbe flows.
Frogpox? What's that?
Well, the frogs there all got sick. There's this one lake with frogs all around. And then one day they began to bloat until they burst. Boom! And their guts went flying all over the place. Absolute carnage on the shore there was.
But what was the meaning of it?
That's what the locals can't agree on. Except that it must be some sort of sign. That much is clear. The peasants say it means the lords are greedy, and if they don't mend their ways, they'll croak. Then you've got the church telling you it's a warning to the hamburgers to keep a strict fast, or they might, well, burst.
So no one knows then?
No. And the frogs keep on exploding.
Another mongrel.
Where are you from? And where are you headed?
We're going where hard-working stonemasons get paid for a job well done, of course.
I should think business is brisk for you right now, isn't it?
Indeed it is. We're on our way to Colleen right now. What with the lords picking on each other again, the aldermen are worried that if Sigismund so much as farts, their shitty walls will be blown away.
Oh, all right. I see at least some are profiting from this war.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm talking about the fear. Only yesterday we got jumped on the way, but the stupid bastards didn't know who they were up against.
What's your name? I'm Henry, and I'm in my lord's service.
What a coincidence. We had a Henry who used to work with us too. But at the church in Brownhow, a stone block fell on him. He died on the spot. By the way, I'm Cuba, but they call me Ballman.
Ballman? You must have lost a lot of weight then. Or maybe you're a good dancer?
Wrong on both counts, lad. I used to dress stone as shot for catapult, see? Did it so long I could hardly cut a right angle after.
You were ambushed by bandits?
Aye, but I'm telling you, they were just a bunch of thugs. Too bad about my bag, though. I had a nice shirt from my old woman in it. But what the hell? What's done is done.
Be glad they didn't catch you knee-deep and bare-assed in a pond. Now that's a story I could tell. I better be off. I bid you safe travels.
Sure. Good luck, my friend.
God bless you, miners. Where are you headed?
Greetings. Where? To bathe our bones in the fresh air. You know, man. For us, the sun is what you might call a precious commodity.
That makes sense. So you found a nice seam in these parts, eh?
Nah, man. There's nothing here. Me and the Maras are on our way somewhere better. We heard tell somewhere near Sasau they're after yakkers like us to open up some manways and new drift mouths, and there's some nice chink in it.
Chink?
Aye, I could spill it to you, kidder, seeing as you're not one of us. There's no way you'd fit into our breech levers. Good addling's there for every yakker, you know.
Did I hear you say something about Sasau?
Aye, man, you didn't all. Sigismund set the whole place ablaze. The mining in Skalitz has gone to hell and the yakkers with it. And the props burnt out and all.
Yeah, I know the place. I'm actually from Skalitz.
Well then, kidder, tell it to us straight. What the fuck kind of backcast happened there that they ruined it that bad?
It's that scum Sigismund. His Cumans butchered everyone.
Aye, and now Sigismund set up camp outside Kuttenberg and he's eyeing up their silver and all.
You can tell me about cleats and breech leathers all you want, but I've no idea what you're talking about.
Right you are, kidder. Lad, it's Midas talk. I should have known from the off we ought to clear that canch out for you.
I hope that's not as painful as it sounds. And how come there's not more of you?
Aye, that's a tricky question. The Maris in Kuttenberg are at it at hammer and tongs, and our fellas have been sent for all the way from Aragon and that. And a lot of us is spading wells and ditches.
Aye, it's a tough old world right now.
Nowadays, they're so desperate for hewers, they're even paying arlies and smart money.
Why do you have bows with you? I almost mistook you for hunters.
Oh, that? Nothing that peculiar. You see, King Wenceslas himself gave us yakkers his royal seal of approval to dabble in a bit of archery.
And in Kuttenberg, the yakkers gather once a year for a grand tournament.
Thanks, miners. But I have to be off now.
Right you are. Take care, kidder.
Packing it in.
Packing what in?
This. Robbing people.
Are you out of your mind? What else are you gonna do? Toil in the fields?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to the smithy. Either way, this is my last job.
If you say so.
I've done everything just as we discussed. Tell his lordship we'll get things started the day after tomorrow.
What things?
Riddle sent you, didn't he?
No. Who's Riddle?
Ah, never mind then. God be with you.
Huh?
Greetings, goodman.
Laudetur Jesus Christus. Dominus tecum, frater meus.
Amen. I'm sorry, brother, but you don't exactly look like a monk.
Ego sum qui sum. And you are assuredly not my brother yet. As the day of reckoning draws near, we are all brothers, and soon our sins will be weighed and tallied. Novid enim Dominus qui sunt eus. Let us not forget the Last Judgment.
Well, these are troubled times, I grant you. But bad enough for the Last Judgment. I wouldn't say things are that bleak, my friend.
How could the prophecies not be true? Are we not witnessing the depravity of the clergy and the baseness of the false popes? Magistri mendaces, qui introducen sectas perditionis, o libera nos a malo.
Well, true that may be. But I also know righteous men of faith.
Novi Dominus pios de tentatione eripere, and all sinners shall be damned.
I thought you were selling something. But now I see it's the word of God you're handing out.
And should I be selling it for profit, as the priests and abbots do? Et in avaritia fictis verbis de vobis negotiabuntur.
I can't understand much. But thank you for your concern for my soul, preacher.
Are you a blasphemer? A fornicator? Can you tell the true pope from the false? Shall you sin or change your ways? Who can ever know these days? A groschen or two and the intercession of a saint is yours.
So you mean to sell me an indulgence? Only the church could do that, can't it?
Absit! Nothing of the kind, my friend. I'm not selling, and promises are not mine to make. Whether you wish to avail yourself of the intercession of the saints with a small relic is entirely up to you, frater meus.
Show me your wares.
Certainly. Just take your pick. You won't find this just anywhere. You can't go wrong, my friend.
Greetings, my...
Tell me, have you heard anything interesting on the road?
There's always something, lad. Always something. Take this merchant in Upper Austria. The other day he told me that there's an island off the coast of Naples, and that this island is just one big mountain. I couldn't rightly understand his accent, but he said it was called Strong Bully or something.
Oh, there must be lots of islands like that, don't you think?
Yes, but the top of this mountain is the entrance to hell. It's been locked up for years, but now it was smoking and bursting into flames.
Hell must be a busy place right now. Everywhere I go, I find a hellhole.
You know, that makes sense. We can all trudge down to Italy when we're done for. Everyone should have a gateway to hell in their backyard.
But what about the pearly gates? There's only one of them, right?
But you've got to fly there, right? Not so easy. Besides, from what I've seen on my travels, hell is a lot busier than the other place.
I never thought of that.
Blessings to you. Would you like to buy anything, my friend?
I'd rather hear if you've seen anything of interest on your travels.
I've seen things. I can't even tell you the half of it. And the other half you wouldn't believe anyway.
Try me.
All right. So in Pilsen, I heard two fellows found some treasure. D'you believe me?
Why wouldn't I? Anything's possible.
Rumour has it they were in an abandoned shack in the woods. I don't know what they were doing there, but no matter. And supposedly, down in the cellar, they found a dead fella with a treasure chest by his side.
What sort of treasure was it? Coin?
Nobody knows. I hear they've been drunk as lords ever since. I'll see what I can find out when I next pass through there.
A stranger? What the fuck are you doing here?
Is something wrong?
I'd say so. Let me explain. Hey there, lad. Buy me a beer. Oh, I'll smack you so hard your own mother wouldn't recognize you.
You're drunk. But I'd be happy to pitch in. I might actually have one with you.
You would? Let's go!
By all means. But you know what? I have a couple of errands to run first, but I'll meet you at the tavern over the hill. We can wet our whistles there. It's not like anyone would pour you a beer out here anyway.
That sounds like a plan. I can wait. I'll wait. Hey, you! You hear me? Now listen here. I have decided to sell an apple, and you have decided to buy it. You got that?
How much?
For you, next to nothing.
I'm not paying that much for a plain old apple.
God, you're a blockhead. So let's forget the fucking trade, shall we?
You look like you appreciate good wares when you see them. Would you care to buy something?
Tell me, what's new in the world?
In the world? I don't know, my dear. It's unsafe for a woman to be on the road alone these days, so I'm just keeping to myself from village to village. Buying, selling, but from what I hear, it's the same everywhere. Everyone's afraid because of the blasted war. I've seen a few places burned down, and it wasn't a pretty sight. I only hope it'll be over soon.
Greetings, my friend. How about looking at my wares? You're sure to find something to your liking here.
You must spend a lot of time on the road. Tell me, what's going on beyond these parts?
Do I have news for you? The rain in Flanders ran blood red. I heard it just yesterday. The clouds were crimson and the rain was red. Like blood. And it poured down like that all afternoon till everything was soaked and bloody.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
No, it isn't. It's a bad omen. Mark my words. This merchant told me he heard everyone was fleeing the valley.
Has anything bad happened to them? Have their cattle died or anything?
Well, no. But the laundry women drying their washing weren't happy about it.
That doesn't sound so bad.
And there's no worse disaster for a woman than a stain on a freshly bleached shirt. They'd rather the cattle died. I have to go.
Huh? Stop fooling around!
Fuck! Did you hear that? Oh. It's just you, eh?
Good man. Hold on.
Everything all right?
Do you have a moment?
What's going on?
Do you have any coin to spare?
Tell me, how come you're begging? What happened to you?
Allow me to disabuse you of your misconception. I am no beggar. I simply find myself in a bind compelling me to rely on the kindness of good people.
So, you're begging?
But I'm not a beggar.
Why are you asking for charity? Fancy an ale, eh? The amount you're looking for, it sounds like you plan on downing a whole keg.
That wouldn't go amiss, but really, I need the coin so I can travel to Vlashim.
That's quite a way.
I've always found it to be a day or two's ride.
But I don't see any horse.
I don't have one. That is true. I'll join a caravan, ride along, pay for my way, my provisions and such.
Begging, but not a beggar, and he needs money to get to Vlashim. Oh, I've come across a fair few beggars before, but none have ever said that to me.
Must be a coincidence?
In fact, you don't strike me as a commoner at all.
You only imagine it, friend.
I can spare you a few coins. It's a lot more than I normally give, I have to say.
Thank you so much. May the Lord repay your kindness.
Farewell. May you travel safely.
Yes. Thank you.
Call off that dog!
Mutt!
God bless, good sir.
Is that you? I thought I recognized you.
You look familiar too.
It's me, Odolen von Wotitz. You gave me a few groschen to help me on my way.
Ah, now I remember. You were being held hostage by the League of Lords.
That's correct.
How did you make it home?
I checked out a couple of wayside inns and got lucky. With the little money I had, I finally found a caravan. The carter didn't mind hosting a lowlife on his wagon, as long as he was getting paid for his trouble. He dropped me off a short distance from Wotitz, and I walked the rest of the way.
What brings you back to Kuttenberg? And with a retinue at that?
My father and I won't let them get away with what they did to me. Let's say we're on our way to scope out the land of some acquaintances of ours.
Well, you're gonna settle a score.
And who knows? We might just run into someone important and take him on a visit to our place. We've already fixed up a nice room with a solid lock. Would you like to see it?
No, I'd rather not.
I was just teasing. It's all set up for someone else.
I have to get going. I'm glad you're all right.
Wait a moment. You helped me, and I won't forget that. Here, take your money back, so we're even. And I have something else for you here. I think it might come in handy. A fine weapon. Dependable. It's felled a few deer in its time. and it would put a decent hole in a man too, if you ever needed to defend yourself.
My word. Thanks.
I bid you safe travels.
Same to you.
Seems like this was a waste of time. Hey, good man! I need to speak with you. Hey!
What are you doing hanging around here, old man? Are you alright?
Not entirely. I'm Sejezek of Holohlavie.
And I'm Henry.
Well, Henry, I'm terribly sorry, but this is an ambush.
What?
Please don't make it harder for me than it already is, and surrender nicely. I don't want to hurt you.
Hold on. Maybe we can do this without anyone getting robbed. Can we talk this through?
Make it quick, though. My life is slipping away, and the sooner this unpleasantness ends, the better.
What kind of peculiar robber are you?
Robber? How dare you insult me so?
What else should I call you?
I am a man of honor. Only I've been a bit down on my luck recently.
So it seems. Even this ambush isn't working out too well for you. What you were shouting at me sounded more like rather rude begging for alms.
And what was I supposed to say?
How should I know? You shouldn't be robbing in the first place.
But I need money.
Well, why not get it honourably? You're a knight. Can't you go and fight somewhere or find someone to protect?
I'd have to get my horse and armor back first. Without them, I'm useless as a knight.
Someone stole your horse and gear? How?
It's a long story.
Cut it short. Otherwise you might drop dead before you get to the end.
Until recently, I served in Sigismund's army, but I had a quarrel with the commander, one Zavish of Garbov. We insulted each other so much that I ended up losing my temper and challenging him to a duel.
And you lost?
We each bet our horse, our armor, and knightly honor. And I lost all of it.
That's really bad luck.
We were getting supplies in Betchwar, and Zavish had the whole village torched without blinking an eye. I was the only one who spoke up against it.
It was noble of you to stand up for the common folk.
Perhaps. But you see the result. No good deed goes unpunished. Now, I'm trying to get enough coin to get my things back, and you seemed like a skilled fighter. That's why I chose you. If I must do something so despicable as robbing people, then at least they should be capable of defending themselves.
And how much money do you actually need?
Heaven knows. In truth, I don't know if Zavish will speak to me at all, but I have to at least try.
What if I tried to help you? I'll go to your commander and try to convince him to give it all back.
You'd do that for me?
Well, I offered, didn't I? So, where can I find this man?
In Sigismund's camp. His name is Zavish of Garbov. He has a black eagle and 3 yellow stones on his coat of arms. He's got a rather inconspicuous tent above the camp kitchen. Hopefully you'll find it.
And how will I recognize your things? Is your coat of arms on them?
Of course, on my cuirass and on the caparison of my horse Gringolet. It's the same as I have on my shield here. A black raven with a ring in its beak on a yellow ground. If you get my things back from Zavish, come and see me in the tavern in Pshitok. They let me sleep in the hay there.
Did you hear about what happened at the big wheel?
At the mill?
Yeah, the place by the Zherovka stream. What? Hell, fellow! By the looks of you, I reckon we could do some good trade together.
I'm interested. Greetings. What's going on here?
What the fuck do you think is going on? Want to trade? Or are you just here to blather?
Let's do business.
You're on. No bullshitting. That's how I like it.
Have you lost something?
Quite the opposite, my friend. I am finding something. Treasure, to be exact. If it matters to you.
Treasure? Where is it?
I don't know yet, but this map here says it should be somewhere around here. At least I hope so.
Maybe I could look at the map? I might be able to help you.
Well, I am a bit stumped. I need all the advice I can get, but you'll give it back, understand?
Of course. Don't worry.
Give it back, you hear me?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, you've been deceived.
What?
This is no map. I've seen a fair few in my time, and this is just a bunch of scribbles.
What? But how can you tell?
Well, I thought it was odd just from the parchment it was scrawled on. It's very delicate, and the lines... It looks like no map I've ever seen. Sorry.
Fuck! You might as well keep it then.
Are you going far, Goodman?
Well, define far. Enough to be apprehensive, huh? You know how it is. If you as much as stick your nose out the door these days, someone will punch it.
I see you're in no danger, though. Fully armed with bonhomie.
Yes, well, mercifully, we apothecaries haven't any enemies. Who would bite the hand that's relieving their pain, eh?
You say you're skilled in the art of healing?
Well, I'm no physician, but I do know my ointments for whatever ails you. For ulcers, salvation, beauty... Wenzel Torvald, Master Apothecary, at your service. Of the famed establishment in Turnau. Hey, hey!
Where are you coming from?
I was paying my respects to my brother Oswald in Kuttenberg, when I was called away on a case.
What case would that be?
Ah, well, by all accounts, it was an unsavory affair. A young girl murdered, only for her to up and bolt from the mortuary.
What? Are you serious?
Primo, she was never actually dead. Secundo, it was poison that placed her in that death-like state. Et tandem tertiam et finale. She brought it upon herself. So, as I say, it's an unsavory business when a young girl is driven out of her senses by a philandering nobleman.
Do you have anything interesting to sell?
If it's herbs you're after, or alchemy you're interested in, then you're welcome to take a look. What can you do? Careful.
What are you doing here?
I'm resting. There has been so much to do lately that even I, too, must rest before proceeding. Like peasants at harvest time, that is hard labor too.
Where are you going?
Wherever I am needed, where my help is required.
With what?
Sometimes with their pain, their suffering, their hatred. It varies from one soul to the next.
You sit there so serenely. As you tell me such things, you're a little scary. You know that?
I scare you? You need not fear me. I don't hurt anyone. I only help. It is that which comes before me you should fear, not me. If I may, I have a question for you too.
You may.
We have seen each other many times. Why have you left it until now to stop by?
I don't remember seeing you before.
Really? I have always been with you whenever you... Well, never mind. Just consider how many times you have had me by your side. I am leaving now. Good luck, Henry of Skalitz.
You know my name? And you know where I'm from?
I was there. It kept me very busy.
Yes?
How about stretching those limbs and getting some light exercise? Shall we spar? Who's this that chance has brought my way? I'm Peter, but everyone calls me Hornet.
I'm Henry, Skalitz.
Forgive me, but you don't look much like a nobleman.
That I am not.
It's just when you say of Skalitz, it has a noble ring to it.
Well, it's just my way of saying I'm not from these parts. Besides, my name doesn't hold a candle to yours, Hornet. How did you come by such a moniker?
After a fight, my opponents say the blows I give them are right stingers. Want to see for yourself?
You roam the world challenging random passers-by to duels?
Exactly.
Is that how you make a living?
Ah, no, not like that. I move from village to village, and people pay me for whatever they happen to need. Sometimes I'm asked to lug some stuff. Other times I guard a caravan. Occasionally I get to intimidate wretches who refuse to pay their debts. As long as I'm getting paid.
You enjoy scaring people in debt, huh?
Haha! That doesn't come into it. I've nothing against them. I get paid to deliver this and that from so-and-so. After that, it's none of my concern.
A mountain of muscle for sale.
Exactly. And there's no harm in pitting your fighting skills against someone now and then on the road. Especially when money's involved. So, what do you say?
What are the rules?
I have two. 1, always put some money down. 2, don't get killed.
Pretty simple.
Exactly. Take a sword, a mace, whatever you fancy. But no bows or any of that shit.
A shield?
Yeah, sure. Just a fight close up. We stop when one of us is ready to drop.
All right. Let's do it.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What are we fighting for?
I have a proposition. If you win, you take the money. If I win, you teach me some of your skills.
I can tell you how to improve your stamina. How about that?
That's my wager.
Ha! I can't wait to win. Hey, you!
Yes?
How about stretching those limbs and getting some light exercise? Shall we spar? I know you. We've met before.
Oh yeah, Hornet. That's not a name you forget in a hurry.
You're not wrong there. But your name seems to have slipped my mind.
Henry.
Oh, that's right. Exactly.
How have you been?
Did a brisk bit of business, I can tell you. I stuffed my purse to bursting.
Sounds to me like you might have stolen something.
Watch what you're saying. I'd never do that.
I was just teasing.
I've been known to take on shady work, true enough, but never any thievery. So, fancy a fight?
What was this great job you had?
I wound up in Grund, earning silver as a caravan guard. At first, me and a couple of others were driving wagons. But then they figured they were short of guards. They said it wasn't safe in the area, and that every extra hand they could muster would come in handy. The perfect job for me, as long as they pay, right? So I did a couple of runs, a bit of loading, and made a nice pile of coin.
And that's how you could afford all this gear?
Exactly. I thought I might try my luck at the tournament in Kuttenberg. What do you reckon?
Always worth a shot. You're not exactly a pushover.
That I am not. We'll see then. We'll see.
Let's do it.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What are we fighting for?
I have a proposition. If you win, you take the money. If I win, you teach me some of your skills.
I recently took a man down with one punch to the mouth. If you win, I'll tell you how I did it.
That's my wager.
Ha! I can't wait to win. Hey, you!
Yes?
How about stretching those limbs and getting some light exercise? Whoa! If it isn't Henry!
How are you, Hornet?
I'm fine. Just a little sore in the thigh.
Oh, someone beat you up.
As if. I landed a job with a farmer down in the village here. Hired me to hold the sheep so they can be shorn. Easy money. Only thing is, as we were driving the sheep towards the barn, I took my eye off the ram for a moment. Wham! The bastard charged straight at my leg as soon as I turned my back on him. Dumb animal. What about you? How have you been?
I've been flitting here and there.
Huh. Fine. Keep it to yourself, then. Want to fight?
I have to go.
Hey, you! Behold, Henry of Skalitz, who is truly not a noble.
I give you Peter Hornet, the man with the stinger punch.
Exactly.
I see you're faring better. That's some serious kit you've got there.
I need it. Serious kit for the serious expedition I'm going on. But enough jabbering. My hands are itching today. Shall we duel?
Hey, hold on. Wait, what were you saying about an expedition?
I ran into a fellow who passes through here delivering supplies to Bavaria.
Are you going to join him?
As sure as my name's Peter Hornet. He was hiring guards for the caravan. How could I refuse?
Well, it's a long way to Bavaria.
And I hear it's not going to be a piece of cake either. Bandits and whatnot. Ha! They can kiss my you-know-what, as long as I get paid handsomely.
When are you leaving?
In a couple of days. We're supposed to meet at a wayside inn up the road.
Well, I hope you make plenty of coin off of this.
Here's hoping. Thanks.
Let's do it.
Exactly. Now you're talking. What are we fighting for?
I have a proposition. If I win...
I can tell you how...
That's my...
Ha! Ha!
That was a good fight.
Good. Very good. Perhaps I'll have better luck next time. So you wanted to learn how to improve your sword play. There are a lot of moves you can come up with. But when you're getting stuck in, don't forget to use your free hand too. It can be a good idea to throw a sudden punch in the ribs, like when you're pushing out of a clinch. A sword is like an extension of your arm. But just because you only need one hand to grip it, doesn't mean you can't put your other to good use.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. Good luck, Hornet.
You too, Henry.
Hail, good man!
God be with you.
And with you! How about taking a break? Rest those legs and try your wits instead. Are you going to do what we talked about? Put that away! Come on, don't be shy. I won't bite.
That's a relief. What were you going to offer me?
Curiosity killed the cat. No shame in that, though. They call me Barley.
You just wander the world.
Exactly. Never a dull day so far.
You have a peculiar name.
If I were ordinary, well, that's just another way of saying boring. And boring's not for me. So I wander the roads, collecting my riddles, and if I meet anyone I find interesting, I'll happily work a riddle on them.
A riddle? Very well. Let's hear it.
Now, listen carefully. What belongs to you alone, but is used more often by others? Any idea?
My name.
That's right! You have a learned head on those shoulders. The robes of a priest would suit you better than a sword.
They really wouldn't, I assure you.
More's the pity. But down to business. I have a proposition for you. You deserve a reward for solving my riddle. Except, you've caught me flat broke. I can give you some of what little I have. Or teach you some of what I know. What'll it be?
I'm always up for learning something new. What can you teach me?
I spend my days on the roads and my nights in the taverns. What interests you more?
Tell me about your experience on the road.
You can't beat a sturdy pair of shoes and a good supply of wine or ale with you. And keep an eye on the clouds. They can tell you if a big storm is brewing and whether you'll have time to find some shelter.
I'll bear that in mind.
And you'll stay dry.
Hey, you there! Please help me!
What's going on?
I beg you, untie me! Thanks for untying me. I thought no one would ever come by. Help me! I've been robbed! They took everything!
How about I take a look at your wounds?
You're a sawbones?
No, but I've patched up a few people.
I see. Well, all right then. Do what you can.
Didn't even hurt, did it?
Well, it almost didn't hurt.
Tell me more about this robbery.
I was ambushed by a band of thugs. 4 men. They beat the shit out of me, took what they could carry, and left me in nothing but my undergarments.
Well, be thankful they didn't murder you while they were at it.
True as that may be, they took all my wares.
I'll help you.
God will repay if you have some... I'll take what your boots and hose would...
I'll give you some money. Here you are. That's all I can spare.
Thank you so much. And God be with you.
What? God be with you, Sir Knight. I'm Henry, and I serve the Lord of Lipa.
And which one might that be? You see, I know several of them. It's an old and respected house.
Well, my lord resides in Ratai, on Sasau.
Him I don't know, but I rode with the old Captain Chenyak of Lipa when Emperor Charles was still with us.
Forgive me, sir, but that's before my time.
Well, of course. Half a century has passed since those glorious battles against the Hungarian troops. And all I'm left with today is debts.
You have debts? Why? Because of the war?
On the contrary, when my neighbor Deslav was on his deathbed, he begged me to deliver his inheritance to his nephew. But that troublemaker is all fighting in Poland somewhere.
A will is a sacred affair. But are you really going to go all the way to Poland?
Certainly not. I'll leave the money in the hands of a monastery and be done with it. Problem is, I incurred a bloody fine on the way and had to pay it out of the inheritance.
So you fought for Emperor Charles, the father of our King Wenceslas?
Indeed I did. My boy, he was a pious and clever king, and as cunning as the devil.
So you stand with Wenceslas too?
Always. The apple has fallen far from the tree. Young Wenceslas is just a foppish coxcomb. Well, safe to say, it's all going to the bloody dogs.
So, sir, fancy a game of dice?
Gladly. I might just get lucky at last. What game would you like to play?
Courtiers for me.
Let's play.
What happened to you?
A wheel on our wagon broke, so we're waiting here for my husband to come back from the village.
You're lucky you didn't run into any footpads. The roads are treacherous these days.
What can we do? We have to make a living somehow. Do you want to buy anything?
Where are you coming from, and where are you headed?
Oh, here and there, all over the place. Times are hard, you know. What the farm folk have to sell, we buy, and we bring them what they're in need of.
Times are hard because there's people thriving on others' misery.
Can't argue with that. We're barely making ends meet ourselves. Everybody thinks twice before they part with their money these days.
How did you come by this stuff?
How? Well, you see, the farmers sell us what they don't need and so forth.
Why do I get the feeling, woman, that this stuff is stolen, eh?
So what if it is? Who cares? Everyone's just doing the best they can.
I'll be happy to take a look at...
Of course.
Throw what?
Hmm?
Ah! I did it!
Who the hell are you?
My name is of no importance. I am your faithful servant.
What are you doing here?
Why, I'm waiting for you. I did everything I was told, chanted the words, and you showed up.
You know who I am?
You're testing me, Dark Lord. I know I'm not worthy of uttering your name.
Speak. Your master commands it.
You're the Lord of Hell. The Devil. The Dark Tempter.
What do you want from me?
Me? Want something from you, Dark Lord? No, I wouldn't dare. I can only humbly beseech, pitifully implore.
Out with it, then.
For a small kindness, a favour.
What favour?
I'd like the dice to roll like they've never rolled for anyone before, and win every game.
Thy will be done.
Really? Thank you, Dark Lord. I'll be indebted to you to my dying day. And when I die, my soul will be yours, won't it? That is the price?
As you say. Quid pro quo.
If I make enough to cure my Jane, it's a fair deal. This is beyond my wildest. My Jane will finally be well again. And maybe I'll even make enough of that little cow she was praying for.
Young man, come here.
What's going on? What are you doing here?
Friend, welcome. I'm glad you're passing by. At least I won't be celebrating alone. I'm a father. My first son.
Well, congratulations are in order. What's his name?
Oh, Jonty. His name's Jonty.
I wish Jonty the best of health, then.
My sentiments exactly. Best of health. You have to drink to him with me. I've got some fine brandy here. Come on, let's drink to his health.
What kind of brandy is this, exactly?
Why, it's the finest I have. My late father gave it to me, saying that when he had a grandson, we drank it together. But he didn't live to see it.
Uh-huh.
It's been buried in the ground for 10 years, waiting for this moment. I'm sure you'll like it.
Thanks, but I'm not in the mood.
I'd be very offended, young man. You don't even want to wish my newborn good health?
I don't drink with strangers.
Who the fuck do you think I am, you prick? Here I am, offering to share my best booze with you, and this is how you treat me? I'll teach you, you cocky bastard. Hell with you. Quiet!
Hail, fella. By the looks of you, I reckon we can do some good trade together.
Sounds interesting. My name is Henry, my lady, and I serve Sir Hanush of Leipa.
Guten Tag, junger Mann. What an interesting coincidence. I am Ada von Lippe, but I have never heard of your master.
It's all a bit crazy right now. But Sir Hanush means a lot to me. He helped me out of a bind.
I am not judging you. I myself subscribe to the motto res nullius cedit occupanti, and that is all I care about.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow, ma'am.
Kurz gesagt, stray horses and trading in them are my passions. And I do not care about much else, junger Mann.
What is a noble lady doing among horse traders?
Ha! I am pursuing my dreams and desires, junger Mann. But asking questions like that is neither polite nor safe.
Forgive me, ma'am. I didn't mean to offend you.
Macht nichts, Junge. I am never cautious without reason. It is bad for business. Either way, would you like to buy or maybe sell something? And because it is you, I am willing to turn a blind eye to anything.
Ah, yes. The noble impulse to take care of runaway horses that clearly have no master.
Exactly. Where is the good in seeing a fine steed harnessed to a plough? Or roasted on a spit by lowlifes?
And I should think it's quite lucrative too, eh?
Watch yourself, junger Mann. A lady of my standing can indulge in whatever she wants, with impunity.
I didn't mean it that way.
Macht nichts, Heinrich. I forgive you. For now.
What about King Sigismund? Do you supply horses for his troops as well?
Gah! That old fucker? I couldn't care less about him. The arrogant disputes of the Luxembourg Lion Cubs has widowed me twice already. I will not let them spoil my business with the Cumans just yet.
My condolences. I'm sure both your husbands were worthy knights.
Ha! Let me tell you. All the honor, titles, and power bring us nothing but debts. Eventually, they will be made to pay for it by us traders. The world is changing, junger Mann. Not even King Sigismund, the Roman Emperor, or even the Pope could pursue their ends without coin. That is all that counts here.
Enough of that. Let's talk business, my lady.
Natürlich. That is, if you have the coin, young man.
You should have a light.
Michael? What are you doing here?
È un'ingiustizia. You're the one who should be locked up. What are you doing creeping about in the dark, eh?
Michael? What are you doing here?
È un'ingiustizia. You're...
Young man, could you spare me a moment of your time?
Yes? What is this about?
Your immortal soul. I'd like to discuss it with you. Tarry a while, young man, and answer me one question. Are you truly happy in your life?
I don't know. Probably not, all things considered.
Even a young mind can wallow in despondency. It's a sign of the times, I suppose. Know that the immortal soul inherently makes no distinction between happiness and unhappiness. Only between salvation and damnation. Happiness and unhappiness are nothing but inner feelings. Delusions that pale in comparison to eternity. Tell me, what path have you chosen in life?
I seek to find peaceful solutions, so that as many people as possible can benefit from them. But mostly me, of course.
A master of words, versed in the intricacies of politics, scheming under the cloak of darkness.
Something like that.
The echoes of all beautiful words will one day be silenced. What if I told you only one path leads to eternal salvation? A path destined for those who see the light, who understand. The path of true faith, divine love, and unending humility. And that is a path you too, my young friend, can follow.
What should I do?
Renounce your life of sin and accept Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, according to his teachings. Unreservedly and unconditionally. Christ must enter your soul. Fill it to the brim. Hell is approaching, and time is running out. Repent and pray, young man. Step forth onto the path towards salvation.
All right. I'll pray and repent, and trust in the salvation of my immortal soul. I hope it works.
A wise decision, young man. You'll look back on this day as a new beginning. I must be off now, young man. May God be with you, and the best of luck on your path, whatever it may be.
God be with you too.
Be with you, good sir.
Michael? What are you doing here?
Un'ingiustizia. You're the one who should be locked up.
Chin up, my friend. They say you make your greatest art when you're at your lowest.
Rub ashes on my humble head. Scar my ass with filthy belts. Remember clearly what I said, that you can go and fuck yourself.
How did you end up here?
It's your fault. Some merchant saw our loot and started yelling that we stole it. I tried to calm him, but he took the pearls I was regaling him with and dashed them to pieces. So George punched him in the face.
Maybe I can get you out of here when no one's looking.
Ah, freedom! You belong to me once more, freedom. To sin is human, to forgive divine. So may God forgive you all for being such pricks. At your service, sir.
Oh, excuse me. Fuck, Henry! We'll compose a new ode to you.
Let's
for
hurry
this.
back to Zhelyov. These big cities aren't for the likes of us.
Careful.
Greetings, good man. Will you come over here for a moment? Let's talk.
I bid you good day. What do you want to talk about?
You'll see. You won't be sorry. Could you spare a few groschen for charity's sake? I'll be straight with you. It's to spend down the tavern.
Tell me a little about yourself. If I find you to be an upright fellow, I might be willing to indulge you.
I was once a cloth merchant. You'd have been hard put to find a tailor around here who didn't buy my wares. The finest quality at the fairest prices.
So what happened?
Bad times, lad. And bad people. They robbed my cart more than once, and in the end they just drove off with it. Twice they held a dagger to my throat until I emptied my purse. So I ended up on my own, with no livelihood and no money.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it's not that bad. every now and then I meet someone who gives me a groschen, and then I'm good for the evening.
Your frankness is refreshing. Maybe I can dig out a few coins here.
Thank you for your generosity. May the Lord reward you. I will drink to your health, and raise an ale to your horse, your dog, and your wife.
Wait, Goodman! I'll show you! Go fuck yourself!
I feel quite hungry! Come here!
Show what you're made of!
Sick!
Ha!
Fuck you!
That's mine, find your own! Yeah, to hell with you! You wanna try me?
Oh, fucker! Fucking mud!
Was ist los? What do you want at this time of night?
We know each other, don't we? We met at Trotsky.
Oh ja, du hast recht. You are Henry, Lord Capen's man. Seltsamer Zufall. The last time I saw you, we were ambushed in that fucking ravine.
You survived the attack. A lot of people didn't make it out of there.
Genau. Wirklich terrible it was, but I survived. With a bruise or two and a concussion. Unfortunately, the other fellows I was with were not so lucky. Now our village has only sorrowful mothers, widows und Waisen.
Did anyone else we know survive?
A few made it out of the mill and escaped into the woods. Herman Palachek and Black Bartosz were captured, but I heard they were later released. Florian of Lomnitz, however, was hanged. Maybe he would not keep his mouth shut or something. They could have fetched a tidy ransom for him. It is a pity, really. He was an awful poet, but a delight to be around. Gott sei seiner Seele gnädig. Und was ist mit dir, Mann? I heard they hounded you through the woods like vermin. Von Bergo has got it in for you, they say. Is that true?
If you really want to know, Bailiff, von Burgov's a lying bastard who betrayed us. And not only us, The traitor has King Wenceslas imprisoned in Vienna.
And why are you telling me this?
Because we are on different sides in this war, and we could just as well beat each other to a pulp, bailiff. But there's no sense in you taking needless risks for a lord who left your village full of widows and orphans.
I lost many good men there. And perhaps the blame lies with him. Schön. I will pretend I heard nothing, and we can go our separate ways. Mögen sich unsere Wege hiermit trennen.
Hey! You there!
What's going on? Do tell.
All right. Let's talk it over.
I can't. I'm in a hurry.
Oh, I get it. Not a word for the likes of me.
Do you want something from me?
Pay homage and tribute.
Who to? You?
To our hero here. The all-conquering warrior. The meanest, toughest slugger around. The one and only Yarda the Great.
They call this fellow what? The toughest slugger? I'm not convinced.
You don't believe me? Then you'll have to fight it out. Fair and square. Get ready to put him up.
Come on, then.
Kick his arse,
man. Take that, you shit!
There's no escape!
Come on, Yarda! Knock him out cold! That's impossible! There's no way a milksop like you could take down Yarda!
And yet I'm the one still standing on my feet.
You must be some kind of warlock! There's no other explanation.
I'm no warlock. I've just had my fair share of fighting.
Are you a battle-scarred warrior, then?
You could put it that way.
You know what that means? Yarda the Great has just pulled off the fight of his life.
No. Yarda the Great is sprawled in the mud over there.
But he went toe-to-toe with a war veteran hardened in 1,000 battles. And you taught him everything you know. Yarda will be invincible now.
What? That doesn't make any... Right. Whatever. Who are you?
Do you not recognize a wayfarer when you see one, young fella?
I'm just being careful. You have to watch yourself these days.
You couldn't be more right.
And what brings you this way?
My itchy feet. I wander the world, watch what's going on, buy and sell things while we're at it. You want to buy anything? I might have something you'd like.
Tell me instead. What tidings do you have of the world?
Something new every day. Take that new priest over in Prague. Goes by the name of Hus. And if you heard him, now that's what I call a sermon. He's not afraid to scold anyone. He says the church fleeces believers, and that it's not right.
Have you heard him preach?
That I have. He was at St. Michael's one time. Nowadays, you'd have to go to Bethlehem Chapel to see him. But it's well worth it. If you're ever in Prague, you should take a look. That fellow's born to be a cardinal or a pope. Then you'll be able to tell your children you remember him when he was a plain old priest.
A stranger? What the fuck are you doing here?
Is something wrong?
I'd say so. Let me explain. Who have we here now? You traveling alone, eh?
As you can see.
That makes it all the easier.
What do you mean?
Die! Kill you.
Come here! Sick!
Hey, lad.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Resting. I've been lugging these sacks for ages now, so I decided to take a load off. But I can tell you, it ain't too comfortable here.
I was afraid you were dead. Whenever I see someone lying by the road, it usually ends up being trouble.
Don't worry, I'm fine. You never just lay down under a tree.
Ah, of course I have. But to tell you the truth, it's not always the safest option. This one time, I laid down in a meadow, and some bastards stole my boots.
That's what you get for sleeping like a log, lad. You make it easy for the thieves. I'm a light sleeper. Ain't nobody taking my old boots.
Look, you know you have something sticking out of your forehead, right? It looks a bit like a horn.
A horn? Nobody's called it that yet.
What is it, then?
It's an arrow. Well, what's left of it, that is. A metal arrowhead and a bit of a wooden shaft. It used to be longer, but I broke it off after I nearly took a wench's eye out with it.
What? An arrow? Like, from a bow?
Aye, an arrow. With an arrowhead, a shaft, and a fletching. Simply an arrow.
You have an arrow stuck in your head? Shouldn't you be, well, dead? I've never seen anyone with an arrow in his head who wasn't.
Of course I should be. Dead as a doornail. If it was an ordinary arrow, I'd be pushing up daisies. But it ain't no ordinary arrow.
Oh? And what's special about it?
Always questions all of a sudden. How about you tell me who you are first? Talking to strangers ain't the safest these days.
I'm Henry, the son of a blacksmith from Skalitz.
Oh, fuck. I heard about Skalitz. I heard it was real bad.
That it was.
Well, at least you got out in one piece. Look, the name's Carl. Folk call me Carl Arrowhead. On account of, well, you know.
How come the arrow didn't kill you then?
Because it ain't no ordinary arrow.
You said that already.
Thing is, it's a magic arrow.
Yeah, right.
You don't believe me, do you? Sometimes I get mixed up in, let's say, some confrontation,
And sometimes things get a bit dicey. I was always getting beaten up, wounded, battered. But ever since I had this arrow in my noggin, not a damn thing. No wounds, no bruises. Nobody can hurt me. They haven't a chance.
Well, that could very well be a coincidence. You're just lucky.
It ain't no coincidence. It's a gift from God. This arrow here blessed me.
Doesn't it hurt? Looks like a nasty wound.
Look, when God blesses you, you accept it for what it is.
So does it hurt?
Hurts like hell. And it fucked my eyesight up a bit. But that don't matter. It's still a gift from God.
Do you think it could be taken out? Can I touch it?
If you touch it, I'll rip off both your arms, shove them up your arse, and make you clap.
Easy! Easy now! I was just asking. No need to get upset. You're worried I'd get the magic too, eh?
No. I'm worried that you wouldn't march and step, and I wouldn't like that.
Why do you think God chose you to be blessed? What did he do to deserve it?
Well, I suppose all them good things what I did in my life. I take care of my people. I'm a good person is all. I reckon God's pleased with me.
I understand. You're simply undefeatable.
Exactly, lad. A whole year without a scratch. A whole year. And me and my lads got ourselves into some dodgy situations, I'll tell you that. But enough chat. I've got to get back to the camp. I've got a proposition for you. You lug one of them sacks here for me, and we can talk some more along the way. What do you say?
What's in these sacks, anyway?
Just stuff what folk leave lying around unattended. These days, everyone locks up their cottages. Sties, coops, and who knows what else. They keep their valuables in their chests. Folk are plenty nervous. And then they go and leave a couple of sacks of charcoal lying around outside. And when you see something lying around, it'd be a sin to let it get rained on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Wet charcoal doesn't burn very well. Good thing you took it. And what are you going to do with this charcoal?
What do you mean? It's charcoal. It always comes in handy. So, will you help me?
Well, I can't let you lug them all on your own.
Glad to hear it.
Hey there! Stop a while and have a drink. We can play dice.
God be with you. Why's a scholar like yourself trudging to hell and back?
Because it would be hypocritical of me not to set foot outside the university's confines, especially now. Homo sumet inter homines vivo.
I spent some time in a monastery. I know homo means man, but that's about it.
One must accept one's role in this world, and not everyone is privileged to be educated.
Aye, but when lords fight, it's the ordinary folks that suffer. They're unhappy with the war.
They must have faith in divine law and the Holy Church, and must not succumb to any charlatanism which only leads them astray. In fact, this is why I must now travel to Prague, where a truly arduous challenge awaits me.
What? There's fighting in Prague?
Fierce fighting ad nauseam, but probably not like you think, young man.
So I'm to understand that Prague has finally stood up to Sigismund?
No, not that. Our university is waging a much more important war. Ours is a battle for divine truth, lad. Hoc illud est quod est.
Are you from Prague?
I am Andreas de Broda, theological doctor at the University of Prague, young man.
So you must know... what's his name? Jan Hus, right?
God in heaven! How that damn Wycliffeite has made a name for himself. Yet his sermons, railing against a corrupt church, are but a barrage of deaf manipulations for simpletons.
Do you really think so, Master?
But we shall put an end to his nonsense before long.
I thought Jan Hus was preaching righteously against the corruption of the church.
How could a boy like you possibly know of any wickedness within the church? Do you know your Bible? Who are you to tell me where God's truth lies? Temeritas est damnare, quod nonetius.
I once stood in for a drunk parish priest.
Lord, why do you punish us so? What sinner was that?
A friend. A good man. I wouldn't want to harm him.
Well, to each his own. It's not for the Emperor to command the Church, nor for the common folk to interpret the Bible as they please. But this Hoos will get his comeuppance. You'll see.
Would it offend you to play dice?
Not in the slightest. One must have one's vices. And dice are only sinful if one plays for the money and not for the pleasure of the game itself. Let's play! What game would you like to play?
Masters.
Let's play!
Well, that's nice now.
Where was it that we...
Well, I'll be... Barra! What are you doing here?
So it is you. What a coincidence. Can you believe I run the baths? I own this place.
I'm glad to see you healthy and in one piece.
And how else should I be?
Let's not get into it. I'm just glad you're all right. And doing well. Somebody up there must like you a lot.
And you as well. It looks like you've also done well since we last met. And since you're already here, would you like to bathe?
Do I look like I need a bath?
No, that's not what I meant. But if you're not in a rush, don't worry, you won't regret it. Our prices are more than attractive and my girls have golden hands.
You sound like a real hawker. You nearly convinced me.
So you'll stick around for a while after all.
So how are you doing? How's business?
We're starting small. I've only got 2 girls here, but we're doing pretty well.
Oh, maybe over time you'll be able to expand the baths.
Don't worry, all in good time. We've already got it figured out. First, I must buy another tent to put a bed in. For now, the innkeeper's letting us use a room, but I'd like to keep an eye on the courting.
And what do you have in mind then? An infirmary?
We'll see. We could use a sawbones, or at least a barber. And if the Lord provides, maybe even a hired hand to cut wood, fetch water, and take care of the guests' horses.
Didn't you say you were headed to the city?
I did, but I didn't last long.
City life didn't live up to your expectations?
Well, let's just say my cousin didn't greet me as enthusiastically as I'd expected. Her husband, on the other hand, was happy as a pig in shit to see me.
And your cousin was jealous?
As a shrew, I quickly came to the conclusion that nothing good awaited me there.
And how did you end up here?
When I was in the city, I heard the baths were cramped, expensive and dirty. So I thought, why not do it like in Jelioff? Have a tavern and baths in one place. I don't know whether Wolfram took liking to me or my idea, but he let me stay. So I got the first tent and tub, and it gradually grew into this. You really don't want to give it a try?
My body is in need of rest and relaxation.
And what are you interested in, sir?
I've heard the girls here can work wonders. I'd like to see that for myself.
Don't worry. Once my girls get their hands on you, you'll forget all your sorrows. At least for a little while.
I can't wait.
Great, but it'll cost you.
Let's talk about the price.
Certainly, no problem. All right then, let's get to it. Follow me.
God bless you, sir.
Good to see you again, Volkmar.
No bloody way. It really is a small world.
You said you were headed to Kuttenberg, and that you'd repay me.
True, true. Actually, in my haste, I didn't even ask you your name.
Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry. You gave me a second chance, and I'll never forget that. I reckon I could teach you some useful things in return that not many people in this city know how to do.
Why not? I'll gladly learn something new.
I'm glad to hear it. But keep in mind, this will take some time, and I wouldn't mind some coin in return. My purse is a bit light these days.
You were the head smelter at Grund.
You're right. It's a show.
Sure,
of course.
I'd like to learn.
I'm glad, and I wouldn't mind.
When I...
You're... Of course.
I'd like to learn.
I'm glad, and I wouldn't mind.
You live...
Not,
well then
you better...
You're the kind of... God be with you.
Hey there! Stop a while and have a drink. We can play dice.
I'm Henry. How say we have a drink and a game? Dice?
Ah, aye. Glad to hear it, lad. Come sit yourself down. I'm Bartholomew for Olmut's way.
Well, you're not from these parts, that's pretty obvious. Have you got work around here?
Oh, aye. Work, that's us. Can't keep up with it right now. Mind, we honest bellmuckers are thin on the ground these days. And the lords are coughing up muckle brass for other denandry and all.
Wait. Why are you putting muck in the bells?
Why are you blabbing about, man? Well, nae fools. Bellmuckers, you can. Can you no see? I'm the bellman. And these are my mates. We've got a bell in the cart. Lifted it from the church in Rabosh.
And what happened to the bell?
Ah, the clapper in Rabosh snapped. And then the whole thing went to shite.
Wait, when did this happen?
Aye, that's the day the Prague troops torched the stronghold in Rabosh.
Shit. Well, maybe it was a cracked bell that caused it. What are these dindinderries? I've never heard of such a disease before.
Nae disease, laddie. Sounds like your belfry's fair empty of them. What I'm talking about is they bombards and hand cannons that those Prague ne'er-do-wells and rich folk are buying.
How is a hand cannon made?
Aye, I can tell you for sure. It's no joke. Knew a lad once. Blew his arse to smithereens. Had to bury him in pieces.
Holy shit. Doesn't such an infernal weapon go against the will of God?
Nah, it's an easy task, mate. You need to give it a richt thump with a hammer. But if you got a wee flea in your glocket, it'll spit it in your face when you fire it.
I need to get going.
Aye, mate.
You made it after all. And here I was thinking you'd never come.
How are you? I believe you're mistaken. I'm just passing by. Are you sure it's me you're waiting for?
You and no other.
Do we know each other? You don't look familiar.
No, we don't. But we were destined to meet.
What do you mean?
I dreamt about you on St. John's Eve, and then again a few more times.
Are you confusing me with someone else?
Oh no, I had a dream about you, and you looked exactly like this. Those eyes, the hair, that nose, exactly as I remember it.
Well, all right. What is it you need?
What do you think? A groom.
A groom? It's a little hasty for my liking. I mean, I've never seen you before in my life.
That is of no matter. See, on St. John's Eve, all us village girls floated wreaths. Hannah's bobbed its way to the other bank. Eliza's fell to pieces, but mine floated the furthest of all. And then that night, I dreamt of you.
You say you dreamt about me?
And more than once at that. But the first time was on St. John's Eve, and that means something.
Does it now? And what?
That it will come true. I picked 9 flowers at night, put them under my pillow, and you know the rest.
What was that you said about wreaths?
You're not from around these parts, are you? Me and the girls release them on the water every St. John's Eve. If your wreath reaches the other side, it means you will soon be married. But if it sinks or breaks up, yours will be a miserable marriage. And mine got swept downstream to who knows where.
And that means...
When I wed, my husband will take me away from here.
Thanks for the explanation. I don't want to dampen your spirits, but you must be mistaken. I have no plans to marry just yet. And I can't, anyway.
But my dreams, the wreath of 9 herbs, I did everything they told me.
And if you are to marry away from here, it probably shouldn't be to someone like me.
I'm not saying he has to be from far away. Kuttenberg would be enough for me.
I'm not a city lad. I'm from Skalitz.
Skalitz? You're a villager? Well, it certainly couldn't have been you I was dreaming of then. I bid you safe travels. Skalitz, he says. What a woeful prize that would have been.
Keep close to the other.
Mjolfene.
Are you his Cuman mercenaries? Are you fighting for Sigismund?
Igen, we are humans. But Sigismund, he's a bastard. Sigismund, egy konsofinit shamer. He stink more than a mare's fart.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be somewhere with Sigismund's army?
Nam, ninch hotchereg. No longer we are Sigismund's soldiers.
Shit, so you're just looting for yourselves?
Nam, we do not want trouble. We just go this way, no stop.
All right, I understand. But where are you going?
We go in Poland. War there soon. We nothing here now.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've looted all you can and now you're moving on.
Ez az ország tele van bolondokkal. This war, yours, not human bad. I, ordinary soldier only.
Well, I agree that Sigismund is an utter bastard. But what has he done to you to make you so angry with him?
Átvert minket. That horse shit cheated us.
What do you mean?
Sigismundnak nincs pénze. We as poor as mice. He not keep promise. Az egész szar. We honest mercenary, but he criminal.
I'm curious to know. Did you hear about the attack on Skalitz? Skalitz. You understand?
You, Skalitz. I name Darko. Örülök, hogy találkoztunk.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm Henry. I'm asking about the Battle of Skalitz.
Ah, igen, I know now. Skalitz, der silver, Skalitz, igen.
Damn it. Were you there? Were you at the attack on Skalitz?
Mire akarsz kiukadni?
Tell me, were you there?
Me? Nem. You ask I there? Nem. I? No there. Nem.
All right. I believe you. Perhaps you really weren't there.
Each other.
I'm saying I shouldn't lump you all together. It won't bring my family back anyway.
You family? Ah, that makes me bocsánat. Bocsánat.
I don't know what that means. I lost my parents there. Why am I even telling you this?
Bocsánat, Henry.
I'd best be off. Goodbye, Cumin.
Isten veled. Good man.
What happened to you?
I fell out of that bloody tree.
Why did you climb up there?
I thought I saw something shiny up there, like gold or something. But instead of finding treasure, I almost lost my life.
I'm no physician, but this needs bandaging.
But I won't get far in this state. Do you have anything to dress it? A rag or something?
Hold on, let me see. Here. You're lucky I carry around a pocket full of junk. Here, let me dress it for you.
Thank you. You're the first good thing to happen to me in a long while. You know, I was born under an unlucky star.
Stop feeling so sorry for yourself. Everyone has bad luck sometimes.
But I'm cursed with it. Even as a boy, I was always losing things. Constantly getting beaten up. And once I spent the whole summer laid up with some weird sickness. My parents spent everything they had on a healer who said he had the perfect cure.
See? That sounds like a bit of luck, doesn't it?
Well, it seemed that way. But when he went to get the cure, he was struck dead by lightning on the way. We couldn't afford another healer, so I was sick for 6 months.
But you survived. I call that pretty lucky.
You think? Then hear me out. I always wanted to buy myself a horse. I saved every groschen I earned. But it was never going to be enough. So I confided in my neighbor, and he said if I gave him all my coin, he'd win me twice as much down the tavern. He told me he could cheat the local drunks because he had weighted dice.
And you gave him the money?
That I did. And I never saw it, or him, again.
That's not bad luck. It's folly. People are bastards. You shouldn't be so trusting.
I'm not even finished yet. Since I couldn't buy a horse, I gave a groschen to a horse trader to let me ride one at least. But as we trotted through the woods, the nag's leg snaps. She was dead before I could fetch help. It took me 3 years to pay off that carcass. So I first lost money to a swindler, and then I had to buy a dead horse.
Still, it could have been worse. Everybody has setbacks.
You still don't get it, do you? All right, this will convince you. I like this girl down the way. But when I finally mustered the courage to talk to her, I found out she'd been poisoned by mushrooms the day before.
Yes, but...
Hang on. I'm not finished there. I found a dog. A nice little puppy. He'd follow me around. So I took him in and raised him. The moment he grew a full set of teeth, he bit me and ran off.
Right. Now this sounds like too much of a coincidence.
As he scampered off, the dog scattered a farmer's flock of sheep. As I helped him to round them up, I stumbled upon a pack of wolves. So I had one leg bit by a mongrel, and the other by a wolf. Only that wolf bite gets some dirt in it, and my whole leg goes black. I couldn't walk for a month.
All right, I see now.
My wife took care of me all that month. And just as I was getting better, she cooked some food in the pot and told me she had to go into town. She never came back.
What happened to her?
I have no idea. She just vanished. The thing is, she took all her stuff and all my money with her. So if you ask me, she flew the coop. And since then, it's all been downhill for me. As soon as I went out for the first time, after my leg was healed, the bailiff grabbed me. He said 3 sheep from that flock had never been found, so I had to pay for them. But what with my darling wife pocketing all my coin, I ended up in the pillory.
Well, your life hasn't been all that easy, I'll grant you that. But you're not jinxed. You know why?
I'm all ears.
If you were, you'd have fallen down and nobody would have found you. But I happened by. Today was your lucky day.
You have a point there. It's true. Thanks, friend. I owe you one.
What do you want at this time?
Where are you headed?
I'm taking a respite right now, but otherwise I'm looking for work. I'd like to enter into the service of a lord, but no luck yet. It's a sign of the times. Nobody wants outsiders in their retinue, and I don't want to join the army.
Have you ever served before?
I have. The lords of Raborsh, when they still owned the place.
Were you there when Raborsh was raided by Markvart von Aulitz's men?
Oh yeah, but I'd rather not have been. We were celebrating, everyone was drunk, and no one anticipated what was coming. Old Lord Odolen was captured, and they say that young Christopher survived by sheer luck. But I didn't find out any of this until the next day.
Hang on, I don't understand. How did you save yourself?
Well, they found me on the bank of the castle moat in the morning. During the attack, I fell into the water and almost drowned. I can't swim.
That was one hell of a blessing in disguise, my friend.
Yeah, but now I'm stuck. I can't find any decent place to serve. I can only pray I'll find something, only not so bloody this time. Goodbye, and take care. Farewell, my friend.
God be with you, good man. I see you're a fellow traveller. Want to warm your bones a bit?
God be with you.
Are you... Ah, Laudetur Jesus Christus! Here you are at last. I've been waiting for you.
Me? And who exactly am I meant to be?
The one I have been summoning. Exorcizo te per deum vivum, per deum verum, per deum sanctum.
I don't understand. What's going on?
You can't hide from me, you monstrum infernium mundum. Now you shall reveal what you withheld from me last time.
I don't think I owe you anything.
So you want to play chess again, you treacherous Draco Nefande Spiritus Mendax?
Unfortunately, Latin doesn't mean much to me.
Ah, but you understand it. You can't deny it, you shaitan al-shari.
That's not helping.
Are you here to ridicule me, or are we going to play? Last time you didn't beat around the bush. Non te excusa, sedage.
Well, all right. We can play, but only dice. Chess isn't my game.
Aha! That's you all over. You lost last time, so now you're looking to wriggle out of it. Impostor in aeternum. Well, if Fortuna serves you better with the mundus viribus et satana, then let's gamble with dice.
What game would you like to play?
Let's play beggars.
Let's play.
I bought a lovely U-boat, excuse me. How now?
You look like you've come a long way.
Sir, again, that is true. We are in this god-forsaken country for egg horn up now. A month. And not out of fucking choice. My brothers and I nearly died at the border. When was it? Harom Napal Ezalet.
What language is that? Where are you from?
Kerlek, Baratom, Andreas Kampa, Fustian merchant, at your service.
I'd wager that's the Cumanic tongue, isn't it?
Nem. I hail from Kashau, on the banks of the Hornet in Upper Hungary, but I am no Cuman. I am in the fabric trade, and our Fustian is the very finest cotton cloth. Ninchosa Foghato.
What happened to you? Were you robbed?
Igen a Franzba. They ambushed and wounded both my brothers, so I alone must go to King Sigmund now.
Sigismund? What's your business with that scoundrel?
Das ist schwierig. Sigmund promised trading rights to our town of Kashau. But when he got the Geld, he left without sealing the decree.
So he deceived you?
Again, you could say that.
So you're a Hungarian merchant? A subject of King Sigismund?
Again, and what of it? Sigmund himself is in Bohemia now. Nein, I am coming einfach to him all the way from Kashau with a message from our Stadtrat. He must agree with our important trading rights.
Do you have anything to sell?
Igen. Natürlich. Kerem, come take a look.
What's that?
God be with you. Though our God probably means little to you, eh?
Shalom, young man. You're right. I'm Jacob, son of David, but I think that will not affect our business together in the slightest.
No, of course not. Do you have anything interesting to sell?
If you are curious what old Jacob has to offer, I could rustle up a few things you cannot find elsewhere.
Fair enough. But what are you doing with your family on a road like this? Aren't you afraid of being robbed? If bandits find you, you'll be like a juicy bone to a starving hound, won't you?
Well, first of all, this is not my family. And second, I know the lay of the land. I can make a deal with anybody. Otherwise, my trading would soon sour. Aye, everyone wants to earn coin, but repaying it is a different story.
Are you saying you're a moneylender?
I would not put it that way. I just assist in my meager way wherever the need arises.
Moneylending is wicked. But perhaps such morals don't pertain to you if you're Jewish, do they?
That depends on your point of view. If you act with kindness toward your fellow man, that can hardly be a sin. But you're right about one thing. Christian or Jew, the burden of our sins rests solely upon ourselves. But I do suspect our God has a greater understanding and compassion for the righteous cause.
May I ask, would you lend me some money too?
Do you need help? Are you in difficulties, my friend?
Well, I'm just curious how it works.
Am I to understand this will be your first loan?
Well, I suppose so. But I'm only asking.
And so am I. There is nothing wrong with that. Questions cost nothing. So, what would you like to know?
How much can you lend me then?
Oy vey. I'm sorry to say it is not that simple.
Why? Don't you trust me to pay you back?
That is not the point. But since you ask, you do not look like someone with much to offer as collateral. And I doubt that you have a reliable guarantor to vouch for you, eh?
You know, I figured it wouldn't be that straightforward.
Gurur, money is a solemn matter, but not all is yet lost, mein Freund. After all, as the saying goes, there are only two kinds of people. Those who have borrowed and those who have yet to borrow.
How does this borrowing actually work? Do you lend to anyone who asks?
Far from it. First, I need to be convinced that my help will be meaningful and stand both sides in good stead.
Meaning what?
Risk and profit, my friend. Risk and profit. These are the two sides of the same coin you hold in the palm of your hand. A little risk, a little profit, and vice versa. I'm sure you understand.
I suppose so.
People would rather borrow my coin than risk their own. But I cannot help if the risk is too great.
And what can you do about it? I mean, how can you avoid risk?
That is the secret to success. You spread the risk. That is to say, you need several irons in the fire, so the loss of one can be covered by another.
Well, that's easier for me to understand. After all, I'm a blacksmith by trade.
And there you have it. Even a blacksmith may possess skill and intellect.
No, I'm not in such dire need of anyone's money. But I'd be glad of something to buy.
As you wish, my friend.
Stop right there!
All right, what is it you need?
I said come here. Give me your money! And no funny stuff. Now!
I have no money. I spent what I had on this potion. The alchemist who sold it to me swore it was for all sorts of ailments and afflictions. It'll also guarantee that I'll have women flocking to me every day for a month, or until I drink a duckweed concoction. To make it more potent, he gathered the herbs from a battlefield where blackamoors had fought. But it had to be during the summer solstice, mind you. He also added the hair of a 2-day-old pup. 3 nights he stirred it facing the cauldron from the north, and 3 nights from the south.
Give it here!
But I spent all I had on it. Have mercy.
I'm telling you, hand over that potion.
All right. It's here somewhere. Here.
Ha! Today's my lucky day. Now fuck off before I change my mind. Ah, this is the life.
No way!
Oh, for fuck's sake! Stop!
Help!
Show your stuff! Go fuck yourself!
Come on now, put that
What do you think? And who asked you to do that? I had them right where I wanted. A little longer and they'd be done for.
Or you'd be done for? Is that what you call gratitude? Go to hell. Next time I won't bother.
What do you mean, next time? Don't you dare cross my path again. You know what? Piss off before I kick your ass at least.
Did you do what I asked you to?
Yes, sir. Everything's in order.
Everything? What?
Hey, fellow! We're an honest
You
lot.
silly doggy.
I'll be with you. Rough day by the looks of it, eh?
Fuck yeah. We've been roaming the countryside like rabid dogs, and still can't catch them bastards. But they know full well we're on their tails.
I'm Henry of Scallis. I serve the Lord of Lipa.
I'm Zich, the Burgrave of Sir Yiskra of Odolen, and these are my men. And never fear, we have no issue with you, since you clearly ain't a horse thief.
Who are you looking for?
Them horsens who stole our Sir Yiskra's horses.
A band of vagrants, is it?
Vagrants? Thieving fucking horse traders, more like. They prowl the countryside stealing horses to sell to the army, or anyone willing to pay good money.
Do you stand with our King Wenceslas?
Fucking no one. Our lord don't give two fucks about the Luxembourgs. He's still paying off his debts from that war ransom.
Well, that's the risk any knight takes, isn't it?
Too bloody right. But peasants' tithes alone ain't enough. The good times are over, all right. But what the fuck? We're both in service. We know how it goes. Why don't we have a bit of fun? Want to wager who's the better swordsman?
Challenge accepted. I could do with some exercise, sir.
Go on, parry!
Oh, dear lord. I thought you'd be a pushover.
Well, in service, a man learns how to handle himself. And his weapons.
So I see. Just wait till next time. I won't be caught by surprise again. And here's your prize. You've earned it. Goodbye, and safe travels.
Greetings, my friend. Would you like to see my wares? You might find something you could use.
Well, I'd rather you told me what tidings you have of the world.
Well, get this. They say there's a dragon in Brno.
What?
Upon my soul. Hey Halleck from that tavern in Inglau told me. He says he's not fussy about who he'll eat either. No one is safe. There's a huge reward for anyone that kills the beast. But you won't catch me anywhere near it. They're demonic. Those dragons.
Well, here's hoping a brave savior shows up.
God bless you, good man.
Fear not. I'm neither a bandit nor a customs officer.
Guten Tag. Tuchhändler Elbel Spangos at your service. Yeah, it is hard to know with whom one has the honor in this day. Bohemia is all one big keg of pulverfass. Light a fuse and it will blow.
I see you've come prepared then. Hired some tough-looking companions, eh?
Oh, I had to. It is a long way from Hirschberg to Prague. Es war teuer, but I was not going to imperil the Geschäft of a lifetime.
Hirschberg, you say? Never heard of it.
Also hör mal. Where are you from that you do not know our Hirschberg? The town of great wealth and fame in Silesia.
Silesia? Well, that's a really long journey you're on, Spangus.
You see, I am depending on this geschäft to finally get me out of debt.
Well, I don't envy your debts, but you're a merchant. You can spin gold out of thin air, can't you?
Ach, Junge, if only I could. Aber ich bin nah dran. I'm so close. Erst, I experimented with dyeing cloth. But then I got distracted by transmutating the gold.
Are you crazy? It's impossible to make gold out of air, is it not?
Nein, out of air, but out of mercury, lead and anderen Metallen. It is actually quite possible.
That's interesting. Turning cheap metal into gold.
Ja, das stimmt. And I heard say that Nicolas Flamel of Frankreich has done it. But he has money in some Jewish book and I've neither. Verdammt!
Have you got things to sell, Spangus?
Ah, ja, bitte, bitte schön.
Blessings to you.
I'd rather you told me what tidings you have of the world.
The world? Fuck the world. All I care about now is mushrooms.
Why mushrooms?
I was down on my luck. Money was tight, nothing to eat. So I went looking for mushrooms, and I found these, well, weird ones. I'd never seen them before, but I was so hungry that I boiled them up, and I reckon they must have been poisonous. I think I died afterwards.
What? But you're right here. You're talking gibberish.
I don't know what it was, but I just saw myself lying there. I was standing next to my own body, you know? I was staring at my corpse. It was so strange. I felt like I was floating up to the pearly gates.
Shit. That really is weird.
I was terrified. I never experienced anything like this. But if I find any more, I might try it again.
Uh-huh. Well, good luck with that.
Huh? God.
My God. You look like you've had a difficult journey.
You're telling me? Herrgott, life has been hard. Ich heiße Henslin. I'm an innkeeper, but my inn has been razed to the ground.
By Sigismund's army.
Ich weiß nicht. Möglich. We were lucky to flee before those human Schweine got there.
Yes, you were lucky. I've had some pretty bad dealings with that unholy rabble. But you'll find scum everywhere.
Yeah, the roads are full of our own countrymen who would murder you without a second thought. Scheiße.
Bandits are vermin, but the humans are even worse, because they're just here to steal and slaughter.
Yeah, and the magistrates and their patrols, they are spread too thin to cope. Aye, times are tough when you cannot even rely on the king.
Goodbye, Henslin.
Auf Wiedersehen, junger Herr.
Go! Ka!
Slow down, you idiot!
Quick!
Whoa!
What's that noise?
God be with you. My name is Henry, and...
That's all? Henry? Not Henry the Hapless, Henry the Headstrong? Christ! Are you even a noble?
no, I'm not a nobleman. I'm...
Never mind. I couldn't give a fig about those big lords. It's their silver I'm after. I'm Kate of Hull, but they call me Kite. And this is my band of men.
That's a sharp tongue you have, Kite.
Widowhood quickly teaches you how to keep the wolves at bay.
Well, there's no denying you can shriek like a kite, but even a bird of prey can be tamed.
And a cock can end up stuffed and served up on a platter. So watch yours.
Not to worry. I've had trouble enough with a certain capon. Nightingales are more my style.
You've got a sharp wit. That'll make for better business between us.
This is your band, is it?
Obviously. Pashko and Jawbone aren't exactly from the royal court, I grant you. More like from the devil's outhouse. But it wasn't too long ago they were riding with my father. But I don't reckon that's any of your concern.
Do my questions bother you?
Ah! Questions my ass? It's what's behind them. You don't reckon a woman could command a band of men, eh?
No, nothing of the kind.
Handsome you may be, but don't fuck with me, you pompous cock. A cock can easily get its head chopped off around here.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get down to business.
If the gentleman so wishes. Thank you, and come again, sir.
Where are you travelling from, merchant?
Gott zum Gruße, Pilger.
Ah, German. Well, I hope you speak a little of our language, or we're not going to get very far.
Nein, no German. I am from Salzburg. Ich bin Anton Stork, Geschäftsmann. I trade in Salt. Salt und Alum. Verstehst du mich?
How's business? Not so good, what with the war and all that, I suppose?
Nein. War is not bad. The prices, they go up. Everybody, they need my Salz. Risiko ist Profit, mein Freund.
Ah, so the war is good for you, is it? But what if you get robbed?
My protection is good. Sigismund, he gives me safe passage. Verzichtete sogar auf den Zoll. Verstehst du?
I thought you said Sigismund waived your duty.
Ja. Sigismund is good king. He know trade is important.
The damned injustice. You're turning a profit while our people's houses are burning to the ground, aren't you?
Was? Ich verstehe dich überhaupt nicht. I not understand.
Yeah, well, I don't really understand you either.
Was?
But I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't trust Sigismund if I were you. He's a bloody scoundrel.
Ja. Das ist eine schwere Zeit. Zoll, Gebühren, Schmiergelder. Dieses Land ist beschissen. Aber das kann man nicht verstehen.
It's probably best if we go our separate ways, German.
Grüß Gott, Pilger.
Oh, God.
What the fuck am I doing wrong?
What on earth are you doing here?
Nothing.
What's with that hole there?
What about it?
You've got a body in there, haven't you? Admit it.
I ain't got nothing in there.
Then what are you up to here?
Look, I mean no disrespect, but I ain't having the best of days. So, thanks for stopping by, but no need to tarry for my sake.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I think not. But thanks anyway.
Come now. You surely won't turn down a helping hand. What is it you're up to?
You're a stubborn one, aren't you? But all right then. Listen up. I'm Bolek.
And I'm Henry.
See, what I'm doing here is... How do I... Sakura. How to explain this? Well, it's just... The hand of God dragged me here to look for the Holy Grail.
You're looking for the Holy Grail? Here, of all places?
Aye. It should be around here somewhere. Somewhere in the area.
Are you a complete lunatic? How the hell did you come up with such a crock of shit? Why here, of all places?
Because I met this old monk the other day. He wasn't entirely right in the head. He kept muttering to himself and looked the worse for wear. Not a pleasant sight, but I felt sorry for him. So I shared some wine and a piece of bacon with him, and he gave me a parchment with writing on it.
You can read?
Of course I can't read. I don't have time for that kind of tomfoolery. But I know a scribe over in Kuttenberg, and he read it to me. And what it said near knocked me on my arse.
Let me guess. Something about the Grail.
Aye! That filthy scrap of parchment described exactly where the chalice of Christ was hidden.
Seriously?
Well, I mean, not actually exactly. It was more like a bunch of verses, but it's a great clue.
Really? Do tell.
You think I'd let you in on it?
Maybe I can help you. Bones, holy relics, buried chests. Wouldn't be the first time I ferreted something out.
You've found stuff like this before?
I sure have. I've got a knack for it. It's pretty much what I do.
Sakura. Maybe I really am missing something. Fine. The monk gives me this parchment and it says, "From 2 magical mountains, gazing to the heavens. Like a thirsty pilgrim I tread the trail. Across the verdant valley to land's end. There shall I drink from the spring that will not suffer my breath to fail."
Let me see that parchment.
Here. Can you make anything out of it?
It looks like it's been torn out of a book.
I hadn't thought of that.
Part of the rhyme might be missing. Or maybe there's a map to go with it.
Of course! A map! Why didn't I think of that?
Are you all right?
I might know who has the map. 1,000 thanks, Henry. You can keep that parchment. You've been a big help.
Well, good luck then.
Farewell, sir.
Go! Greetings, Miller.
Wait, is that you? Henry! Is it really you? It's me! Bolek! Remember?
Of course I do. Bolek, chasing the Holy Grail. How could I forget? But I see you've traded adventure for honest work.
Oh, no. This is just a disguise. Part of my plan, you know?
Oh, right. I get it. So, tell me then. Find any more leads?
I took your advice and looked for a map that would fit the rhyme, but it's harder than I thought, and bad luck clings to me like flies to a pig.
How so?
Did you know that millers sometimes find themselves in possession of, let's say, hot goods?
I have heard that said.
I once won a treasure map from one. So I figured if they have maps like that, maybe they'll have one that'll take me to the Grail. Anyway, I got myself this great disguise and went to the mill to join their guild. And that's where it all went to shit.
I'll wager the miller told you to bugger off.
Far from it. He said he'd let me in on all their secrets. But seeing as I was new to the trade, I'd have to pass this initiation. Then, he hands me a little broom and says, I have one night to sweep the mill until there's not so much as a speck of flour in it. Have you any idea how much flour there is in a mill?
I can imagine.
Well, what could I do? I just got on with it. I toiled like a fool all night. I did. But I didn't even get as far as scrubbing that, you know, that thing that turns round and round at the mill. And come the morning, the miller and his hands laughed and let the dogs loose on me. Backbreaking it was. I don't know how the other millers could have managed it.
Look, I think the miller was having a laugh at your expense. No such initiation test exists. There's nothing special about milling.
You know what? That occurred to me too. I did wonder, as I was scouring those wheels in the early hours, whether they might be fucking with me. Bloody bastards.
Do you have any other ideas?
Well, I was thinking, if that parchment was given to me by a monk, perhaps the monks know where I might find the map and the rest of the rhyme.
That might not be a bad idea.
I've been sniffing around in Kuttenberg, but no luck. They're like the millers, the lot of them. They learn to read and then look down their noses at the likes of me.
Not all of them are that bad. I know this priest who's, well, let's just say he's not your typical priest. But he's a fine fellow, and his heart's in the right place. And it wasn't too bad in the monastery either. I mean, yeah, you have to follow the rules, but you're safe, and you've got a roof over your head. That's no small thing these days.
Wait, you've been in a monastery?
That's what I'm telling you. Only briefly, though.
That's a great idea, Henry!
What is?
I mean, if I could just sneak into the monastery, I might be able to find something out. You've got to help me. How can I get in? Do I need one of their kutuks? Or whatever they call them rags? I'll find one. I'm a master of disguise.
Forget about the cassock. If you want to get in there fast, dress up as a woman. They're celibate, and the sight of any woman would immediately make them, amenable. Get yourself a pretty frock, pad your cleavage up, and pound on their gate. They'll tell you whatever you want. You'll see.
Seriously? That's how it goes in there?
Trust me, I've been there. That happened all the time.
Well, great. I thought it was going to be tough. But if all it takes is that... Right. I'm off to find myself a big old cabbage for my cleavage. Thanks for the advice, my friend. I suspect we'll be toasting each other from the Grail soon.
I can't wait.
Henry! Mate! It's me!
Do I know you?
Of course you do. Come here and let's have a chat. Henry! My friend! We meet again! This can't be a coincidence.
Greetings, Bolek. How's your search for the Grail going? Did you pick up any clues at the monastery?
I got in all right, thanks to you. But after that, it all went sour.
You actually dressed up as a woman?
Indeed, I did.
I told you it would be a cinch. Come on then. Tell me what happened.
I grabbed a dress, tied a scarf on my head, beefed up my bosom and banged on the monastery gate. A young monk opened the gate and at first everything went fine. He was very charming. He showed me in. And when I asked him what he could tell a girl, me, about the Grail, he said he'd show me where they kept it hidden.
That's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. And that's when it all went downhill. He dragged me down to some cellar and started groping under my skirts.
Unbelievable! What a pig!
I kept trying to ask him about the maps and books, but he wouldn't listen. Men can be pigs, can't they? Said he'd show me his Grail all right, that he had it right under his habit. In the end, I had to whack him a bit with a piece of wood to cool his ardour like.
Serves him right. Next time he'll think twice about how he treats women folk.
I don't think he'll be forgetting that anytime soon.
And how did you get out of there?
Mercifully, that pervert had some keys on him. I put on his habit, searched the cellar, and slipped out unarmed.
Did you find anything in there about the Grail?
No. No books, no maps, no parchments, nothing. But I did grab a whole purse load of stuff, and you were the only one to give me advice that was any good. So I'd like to reward you for that. Here you go. I hope you get a good price for it.
Thanks, friend. So, what are you planning? Is your quest at an end?
Not yet. I just need a lead. I feel like I'm so close to the Grail I could reach out and grasp it. I might try asking the millers again. Or maybe get a monk so drunk he'll clue me in. We'll see what path the Lord plots for me.
Well, good luck to you, my friend.
Thanks. And like I promised, if I ever find the Grail, I'll seek you out and we'll drink together to the eternal glory of our Lord. Henry! That's a stroke of luck.
Greetings, Bolek.
Want to hear what I've figured out? This'll knock you on your arse.
Bolek, is that you?
As I live and breathe, we meet again!
How's your quest for the Grail going? Have you drunk from it yet?
No, I haven't. And I probably never will. I'm done looking for it.
No, I never figured you for a quitter. What happened?
There's no point. No clues, except that rhyme. And I can't even figure that out. I've been through hell and high water. Hungry, destitute, a laughingstock. There's no point in going on like that.
So you've taken up a regular job?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
What do you mean?
I may not have found the Grail, but I'm onto something better.
What are you up to this time?
Treasure. And lots of it. Money, gold, jewellery, precious stones.
What treasure?
Listen, you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
Yes. They were the knights who protected pilgrims travelling to the Holy Land. But that order doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Precisely. 100 or so years ago, the Pope had it disbanded. He was unhappy that they were starting to be wealthier than was good for them. And they didn't want to pay for some war or something. So he had most of the knights executed. But they left behind a huge fortune.
Ah, and then he took that money for himself, did he?
Not all of it. The knights who survived the Pope's rage rode off and hid chests of gold around the world to keep it safe in case the order was ever to return. And I may have an idea where one of those chests is.
Let me guess. You think it's in the mines, and that's why you're pretending to be a miner.
That's right. I don't know which mine exactly, but it's a hell of a good lead.
How do you know all this? You met another mad monk?
No, not that. I got it straight from the horse's mouth. The other day I hammered this knight at dice in the tavern, and when he had nothing left to bet, he wagered this information. And lost. Says he's looking for the chest, too. So I just have to beat him to it. And that's why I'm disguised like this. I can get me into the shafts anytime I want.
Looks like you finally got a decent lead.
That's what I reckon, too. That fellow in the tavern was a little odd. But it's important to trust people. Sometimes it pays off.
Sometimes, yes, but not always.
I trusted you, for example. You could have been a thief or a rogue, but I trusted you and told you about the Grail. I may not have found the Grail, but I got something just as worthwhile. I made a true friend. And when the Lord is gracious enough to let me run into you again after a while, you always give me advice, or at least a kind word of encouragement, and that was worth a little trust.
Stop it. Or you'll make me cry.
I hope to see you again soon, my friend. Till next time.
Good luck.